So this is a really crude way of showing you a PowerPoint, but at least it gets it online, and let's see what it looks like. It seems strange. We've got almost this blank canvas that we're going to be working with over the next couple of days. I think the thing we have to put in there to begin with is a region. I think that's the first thing we need. And so let's just assume we've got this nice green space in the middle here. That's going to be the region we're going to talk about. When I think about the readings, there are several other things which come to mind. I think one of them else is we need government. And there seems to be this assumption in the readings that there's the potential for this top-down approach, that governments develop policies to influence or change the nature of economic development activity in a particular region. But the literature also alludes to the fact that there are communities that exist in these regions, and they have the ability to sort of have this grassroots up approach. We also have the entrepreneur that exists in the literature, the person who's there to sort of stimulate new forms of innovative activity. And Aldridge and Martinez, they allude to the fact that we can explain the nature of the outcome of these entrepreneurs by thinking about how much social capital, human capital, and financial capital that they may or may not have, and how these types of capitals can influence the way in which we see innovation that leads to the development of new value that stimulates economic growth within a particular region. Now, I think from the literature, just from this place, I think if we just use this very simple framework, what we can do is we can start looking at Beer's work on homogeneous, functional, and administrative regions, and you can ask yourself some questions: where do you actually fit into that scheme of things? Beer's earlier work, 98, talking about the notion of this top-down approach. We also have the work by Evansole, talking about this grassroots, so asking yourself, well, what's happening in your community? Clearly we have the work of Aldridge and Martinez talking about the entrepreneur in the scheme of this. Hashim and Gertler talk specifically about the nature of knowledge and different types of knowledge which may be related to the process of economic development, so that's very much related to the human capital. Whereas Woolcock and Naram talk very much about different types of social capital which we may observe in a particular region across time. The article by Stabell and Feldstad talks very much about different types of value change, value shops and value networks. So I think you can see, very, very simply, just across this very basic way of thinking about the papers, I think we could just simply start here and start putting you back into this and asking yourself, what entrepreneurs do you notice in your society? What innovative things do you see them attempting to do? What value might they create? Has it led to some form of growth? Is it related to some sort of up movement from the actual community itself? Is it related to more from some sort of initiative or availability of resources coming from above? Is it a combination of the two? So let's just think about what we've actually got by the way of readings and a very simple framework to actually try and make some sense of what it actually is we're going to be looking at.